My name is Michael Danso. I'm a distributor for Zija International. I started about a month ago. At that time, my daughter Abigail here, who was diagnosed as a sickle cell carrier only when she was 3 months old. And the sickness has had a very big toll on her. She's been to hospital in and out the whole of her life. So a couple of weeks ago, while she was admitted in the hospital, I decided that as soon as she comes out from the hospital, I'm going to put her on one of the products that we have, which is the Super Mix. And when she came out, I put her on the Super Mix, and since then, since taking the Super Mix, she's seen a tremendous change in her life compared to when she wasn't taking the Zija products. Actually, I'll just let her herself to explain what she felt when she came back from the hospital and started taking the Super Mix.
Okay, so for those who don't know what sickle cell anemia, can you maybe, you want to maybe tell us what that is?
Sickle cell anemia, it's a blood disorder, and it kind of like, it turns my red blood cells, like regular red blood cells will be circle shaped, donut shaped, but in my case, my red blood cells are shaped like sickles, like half moon is another way to describe it, and they're not able to properly flow through my blood vessels. So when they get like clot up in the blood vessels, that's what causes the pain. And so basically that's what I've been diagnosed with since I was about 3 months. And I've been going back and forth to hospital, in and out. If it's not for an admission, then it's for a whole bunch of tests to make sure my health is is okay, or just brief checkups. So I noticed maybe, let's say, about 3.5 years ago that things are getting worse compared to before. If I go into hospital, I'll be in there for maybe about the least, let's say, 2 weeks, to my max right now is 2 months. So, and then I also noticed that on top of me having sickle cell and having the pain crises and going to hospital, I was also feeling weak and dizzy, and I couldn't feel like how I want, like myself, like how I wanted to feel, like strong. And I'm young too, so I'm thinking, I shouldn't have to be feeling like this every single day. So I didn't know what the problem was. So I went to I was going in for a checkup, one of my 6-month checkups, and I saw one of my nurses, and I asked her I explained my condition and what the problem could be, and she said that I could be hypoglycemic. So, but she couldn't tell me until they did blood tests and all that kind of stuff. But that was the first thing that maybe come to her head. So then, and she also told me that it could be my weight. So then I decided, okay, I would do something about my weight. It took me a while to actually get on top of bringing my weight down. And so about, let's say, last year, I decided that, okay, I'm tired of the whole dizziness and feeling sick and always being tired and all that. So I decided to sign up for a gym membership, and I started going to the gym. When I went to the gym, I was 215 pounds. And then I was able to come down to about 173. And so then, after that, the gym, I ended back into the hospital. And when I came out of the hospital, my weight was still, it went up because of all the fluid that they were giving me. And even though after I came out, I was able to get rid of most of the fluid, my weight was still all over the place. And recently, when last time I checked, before Zija, I was 190. I went back up. And then a week and a half ago, I checked again and I was 180. And I did not do anything. To be honest, I did not know that Zija could do that until I asked my dad. And, I came down to 180, and I actually thought I was scared to step on the scale, because I thought if I step on it, I'm going to go from 190 to maybe even 200, because I noticed that I was eating more and all that kind of stuff. So I was even shocked myself that I was down to 180. And I started taking Zija. Yesterday, Sunday, was a 3-week mark, and I noticed on the 4th day of taking Zija that it was really helping me, especially with my dizziness, because when I did go and sign up for the gym and work out, it helped me a little bit by losing weight, but not as much as I was hoping for it to help me. And with Zija, for example, right now, I wouldn't be able to stand up and do this interview. I would have to sit down, and because I would end up being dizzy, but now I can stand up. I feel free. I don't feel like I'm constantly fighting dizziness. And it surprised me, because when I started taking the Zija, I was thinking, okay, let me do it for a month, and then maybe even at the end of the month, I'll see a little bit of a change, because I didn't think at first that it was going to help me the way it is helping me now. I thought it was going to take a long process, but I was willing to be dedicated to that and see what the outcome would be. And I'm actually very happy that I found Zija and made it a part of my life. I take it every single day, and the premium tea also has helped me very much, because I have sometimes a problem with bloating. So then when I drink the tea, I'll feel a lot better after the night. I'll feel better. Another thing that the Supermix has helped me with is my monthly menstrual cycle. Usually when I'm on my period, I have really, really bad cramps. And so I noticed that since taking Zija, that my cramps were not as severe. They were there, but they were not as severe. And when I say not as severe, compared to how they were before Zija, it would be so bad that I would be kind of moping everywhere. If I need to move myself from A to B, it would be hard, and I prefer to rather just stay in bed all day. And even sometimes having the cramps would even trigger a crisis, because I'm putting my body in distress. So it kind of triggers it. And so now I can handle the cramps. Before, I used to even take a medication for cramps called Midol. Now I don't have to take Midol. I'm fine the way I am right now. The cramps are not as bad. They're a lot more tolerable, and they do not last as long as they used to. And yeah, I'm really happy to have found Zija and made it a part of my life.
Wow, this is incredible.
Another thing that I forgot is I have this constant pain crisis. It's always happening. It's in my left calf, and it's sometimes it's mild, and sometimes people ask me, why am I limping? And I've had that question asked to me so many times before, and it's mainly because of the crisis that's in my left calf. And I've noticed now that for maybe a couple of days now that I haven't seen it, and I'm glad I haven't seen it. And I'm hoping that it continues. And I don't take medication. I'm one where my doctors will put me on medication, and when I come out of the hospital, I stop the medication because I don't like to take medication. So the fact that Zija is natural, it's even better because I'm trying to get my body into that natural, like, you know, to kind of stop all the chemicals and stop putting all these chemicals in my body, and so my body can kind of fight for itself naturally and be more stronger. So far right now I feel great. When I started noticing that Zija took away my dizziness, I actually felt like I could work like the whole day and just no breaks. That's how much energy I have. And sleep wise, it helps me so much, because before I used to have a huge problem with sleeping. I sleep very late, or when I do fall asleep, it's almost like I'm not really sleeping. I don't know how to really explain it, but I would wake up feeling really dead, like the zombie kind of thing. Like I just couldn't wake up. Before, waking up was a huge problem for me, but now, like, I wake up on my own at 8 a.m. and for people who know me, that's a whoa to, like, because I would usually sleep until like 11 and past 11 o'clock, and that's when I wake up on my own. But now I find myself waking up, the earliest will be 8 a.m., the latest will be probably 10:30, and I'm out of bed. And I feel energized, I feel great, I feel like I could just go about my day with no worries. And I feel like people with sickle cell, if they should honestly get Zija into their life, because it will really help them. And I know how it feels to be in hospital and missing out on life, basically, especially being a teenager and not, like, you know, the hospital is the last place you'd want to be. You know, you just want to be out and about with your friends, doing everything your friends can do. But with sickle cell, it really limits you on that kind of stuff. So with Zija, you, like, people with sickle cell would honestly find themselves a lot better. And I just feel like it would be a really good decision to bring Zija into your life as a sickle cell carrier.
Wow, very, very good. And so how long did it take for you to start seeing results when you started the Super Mix?
4 days.
4 days.
4 days, and I was really shocked about that. I thought it was going to take a whole lot longer. I was expecting, because I would write it down. Like, I would wake up and be like, hey, how do I feel today? And I just wrote it all down on paper, and like every single, I'd write when I wake up to when I go to bed how I feel. And first 3 days there was not much of a difference. Even on the 4th day there was more of a difference than there was the first 3 days. Like the first 3 days it was the same day and night, and then so that's kind of like, okay, you know, it's probably gonna take more time. And then on the 4th day it was just like almost like a snap of your fingers, kind of. That's how like quick it worked, like kind of overnight kind of thing. So.
Yeah, and you were saying also the other day that you stopped taking the Zija and you saw the difference.
Yes, that's another one. I stopped one day. I said, okay, let me try stop the Zija for one day. Like, I won't take this Super Mix one day and see if it's all in my head, or if I'm actually, you know, like, if it actually did do something for me. And so that day that I did it twice, and then that day that I stopped the Zija, I could honestly feel like I went about the day, like, you know, the first couple of hours of my day were fine, and so I was like, okay. And then as the day went on, I could feel my whole old self coming back. I was in bed the rest of the day. Like, I couldn't do anything. I was dizzy, I was weak, and I didn't want to do anything. I was just, you know, I just felt really not good. So, and then I took Zija the next day. It kind of took me a little bit to get back on it. And then when I did it again, the same thing happened again, exact same thing. I just started to feel sick again, and after that, I'm just like, I'm just not gonna, you know, not take Zija. I'm just gonna continue to take it, because that feeling of the dizziness and the weakness is just, it's just horrible. Like, I wouldn't wish it on anybody because of how bad it makes me feel, and it's just, it's really annoying to feel like, you know, I'm young and I can't even stand up for 30 minutes without wanting to like pass out. And I've had those moments too where I would be at work and like it was so bad where like I'd be working and all of a sudden I would just randomly get a rush of heat throughout my whole body and I'd start sweating, and then it's like my body was starting to go numb. And if like I knew that if I did not sit down by that time, I was probably just gonna wipe out. And then I have to take a seat, and it's just like you can't work like that for other people, especially for other people. It's not gonna work. You can't keep a job like that. So I kind of was worrying about myself, like my life and my future, and Zija solved that problem for me.
Wow.